Get your hat, leave your worries on the doorstep.
Who authorized the historic schoolhouse in Roscommon to be demolished back in 2007? At this point, no one seems to know. In the early 1900s, children were either homeschooled, attended Ross Landing or San Rafael schools, or some Ross children were likely taught in this charming one-room structure that later became a historic landmark and is now just a snapshot of history. In 1991, the small town of Ross hosted a celebration, and the old schoolhouse was the spotlight of the occasion. Festivities included a vintage car parade, speeches by dignitaries, and the presentation of a proclamation.
And before she died, she passed the original Ross School Bell on to Rena Safford, who was one of our treasured teachers for many, many years at Ross School. In fact, Charlie Goodman told me that Rena Safford was his kindergarten teacher. And Rena surprised me that day and came on stage and presented me with the Ross School Bell. So it sits on my desk, and when I'm out on yard duty, it gives me great pleasure to ring the original bell and bring the children in from recess. It's got a wonderful, wonderful tone.
On a personal and more sentimental note, we had another reason for helping with this schoolhouse. Carla's mom was born and raised in the territory of New Mexico just before statehood. She went to school in a small town in a one-room schoolhouse. Now, Carla's mom had a real craving for education and a real desire to learn, and that was quickly understood by the school teacher and the school officials in that small town. And so the town officials had to literally go around and find money to get Josephine an education that she justly deserved. Josephine ended up graduating from the University of New Mexico and then went on to the University of Chicago School of Economics. You know, in my mind, Josephine must have helped thousands, but certainly hundreds of children to learn to read and understand English and develop a more meaningful life for themselves. Our children never met Josephine, and so they don't understand what it's like to come from a small town with a one-room school and to take the difficult steps necessary to improve one's life. So for us, this little schoolhouse is going to be a reminder. We hope every time our children see this little school that they'll remember that their grandmother came from a small town with a simple school and her life improved tremendously by virtue of her education. Thank you, and thank you for letting us share the story with you.
In appreciation of the wonderful present that the Hoertkorns have given our town, we would like to present them with this proclamation naming them honorary headmistress and headmaster of the old schoolhouse.
An extensive investigation into the demise of this historic structure is underway.